I'm Lynn, one of the pastors of First United Methodist Church, and I bring you a good word. We have recently experienced Easter, and in fact, Easter is not only a day, it's a season that goes on for 50 days so that we can absorb all that we're able of the good news of Jesus' resurrection. One of the most striking parts of the resurrection story is the empty tomb, the rock-hewn tomb in which Jesus' dead body was placed, then sealed with another rock, well and truly pinned down, gotten out of the way, entombed. And when the women arrived on that Sunday morning, they found that the stone door had been rolled away and the tomb was empty. That has not prevented us from trying to entomb Jesus in other ways. One of the ways that we entomb Jesus is through time, to entomb Jesus in time. One way, to say, well, that was 2,000 years ago. Things don't operate like that now. He's not physically present among us. He gave us some really good advice about how to live. Isn't that wonderful? And entomb him in the ancient past. But we can also entomb him in the recent past. We can entomb him in our childhood or our youth, the times when we lived with our parents and perhaps siblings, and say, we really worshiped Jesus then. That was the day when Jesus' word was allowed to be heard, but that's not true anymore. We can entomb him in the very recent past, when we were able to come together and worship in one place. Oh my goodness, don't we miss that? And that's when our experience of Jesus was. That's where Jesus is, entombed in the past. We can even entomb Jesus in the future. When all this is over, we're going to be able to get back together again, and I'll really be able to see God at work. When this is over, when we can go outside again, when I can see my children, my grandchildren, my parents, my grandparents, and we can entomb Jesus in the future. Jesus doesn't stay entombed. Listen to this. It is from the Gospel of John, the 8th chapter. Jesus said, if I turned the spotlight on myself, it wouldn't amount to anything. But my Father, the same one you say is your Father, put me here at this time and place of splendor. You haven't recognized him in this, but I have. If I, in false modesty, said I didn't know what was going on, I would be as much of a liar as you are. But I do know, and I'm doing what he said. Abraham, your father, with jubilant faith, looked down the corridors of history and saw my day coming. He saw it and cheered. The Jews said, you're not even 50 years old, and Abraham saw you? Believe me, said Jesus, I am who I am, long before Abraham was anything. That did it, pushed them over the edge. They picked up rocks to throw at him, but Jesus slipped away, getting out of the temple. I am, Jesus said. Not I was. Not I will be. I am. This is the Jesus, the risen Christ, who is with us right this minute. We don't have to beg Jesus to come. Jesus is already here. What we need to ask Jesus is not to come be with us, but to open our eyes to where he already is. I'll tell you some places where he already is. All of those folks who had to die alone in the hospital without their family and loved ones because of this virus, they weren't really alone. Jesus was there. All these folks who are doing essential tasks, who are bagging our groceries, who are stocking our shelves, who are cooking our food in restaurants, Jesus is there. All of those doctors and nurses and technicians and aides in the hospitals and in our emergency centers who are tending to those who are sick, they're not doing that by themselves. Jesus is there. For those of us who live alone, it can be kind of lonely, waiting out this pandemic, but we're not alone. Whether or not we asked, Jesus is here. Lord, open my eyes. Let me see where you are at work in the world. For once again, you are gone from the tomb. Amen.